All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's Wednesday, and we are back live. Glad to be here. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of new things going on. Now, I want to point out that last week we had 10,000 plus people tune in to see my live report, if you will, with Mark Weiss, legendary rock photographer Mark Weiss. And he was going to reveal the identity of this rock guitar player who appeared in this, if you will, viral photograph. This is the photo. This photo has been making the rounds on the internet. People trying to guess who the guitar player is. This was a photo shoot that Tawny Kitaen did. It was actually, we learned, it's supposed to be a test photo shoot for the Twisted Sister Love Is for Suckers cover. But she had a friend with her who came along for the photo shoot and ended up being in some photos. Then all of a sudden, when Tawny passed away in 2021, Mark shared some photos as a tribute to her, and people started to wonder, who is the guy in this photo? And they said it's Kelly Nichols, and it's Brent Muscat, and it's Nasty Suicide, or it's Mick Cripps, or Joan Jett, or Tom Kiefer. All of those names just constantly came up. And I went to Mark Weiss to ask if who it is. And he didn't know, but he said he would find out. And we did the show last week. And I said, this could be the greatest reveal ever, or this could be Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vaults. If you remember, when he opened Al Capone's vaults, he found nothing, maybe a bottle, a couple glass bottles. If you tuned in last week, you will realize that it was a little bit of Capone's vaults, because even though we advertised we would reveal the subject in the photo, at the end of the day, we did not. And in fact, we added more mystery and speculation. Mark guessed who he thought the person in the photo is. I will say his guess was wrong. I don't want to say too much, because Mark will be here next week live again. We will revisit this, and I can tell you that right now I'm 100% sure who it is in the photo. Mark is as well. We did some research, and we've narrowed it down. We found the person. And I will tell you that not only will Mark be here next week, but we will be joined by two very special guests. And there's a lot of controversy to that photo. Maybe some of the people posing in that photo were in relationships, and maybe they were not being faithful, as the kids call it. Who knows? Maybe there's some people who have something to tell us that we don't know. I will tell you that that photo that you're looking at was taken in 1987. Just happens to be the same year that Whitesnake released all those videos with Tawny Kitaen jumping on the Cars. So not the band, the Cars. Although she may have jumped on them, who knows? But I will tell you that we will reveal this person's identity. We will have special guests, and probably the part that I'm most excited about, we will look at photos of Tawny that have never before been seen. We will actually look at her lost emails, because Mark had an email and text conversation with her, trying to get to the bottom of this, obviously before she passed. And we will show all of those things. Going to share it next week. We had to give it some thought, because Tawny's no longer here. I don't think anyone would be hurt by this. But you will find out who the guitar player is, and we'll narrow it down. You have a whole week to guess. And we'll talk about this more. I don't want to just sit here and yap by myself about it. Johnny Monaco is here. He's punctual today. And so we'll bring him on. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss what we're up to, because we're about to go back out on the road. We'll talk about all those things and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with that. All right, here he is. Please welcome Johnny Monaco. How are you, Johnny?
Hello.
Nice to see you.
All right, how you doing?
Good. For those watching, Johnny and I both have a cold of sorts.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I think I'm almost over it. I don't feel any like symptoms. Just blow my nose a little bit. That's it.
We went to
So
do 2 shows with Stephen Piercy. Check official
yeah,
StephenPiercy.com for tour dates. We went to Arizona. We went to
yeah.
Tempe, Arizona, and then after Tempe, we went to Palm Springs. Stephen Piercy and Vince
Mm,
Neil, a great bill. We'll talk a
yeah.
little bit more about the details of that. But coming home, myself and Johnny both had a bit of a head cold, chest cold. So did Michelle, who joined us in Palm Springs, and Stephen and his lovely girlfriend Christy. They also, I believe, had a little bit of a head cold. And then,
Jeez.
yeah, and then one of us did contract COVID. I won't say who because I don't know if he wants that to be shared. But he's negative now, just like us, negative towards everything in life, and will be back on the road with us because we leave this Friday right, yeah, Friday to go to
Yeah.
Houston, Texas. Um,
Mm,
so anyway, but yeah,
mm,
I'm feeling a little bit better. Also, still a little snotty, as they say.
yeah.
Johnny, I had
Yeah.
an interview this morning with Brian Wheat of Tesla, and it was a good
Oh,
interview. You know, when you do these interviews, you don't know what you're going to get. I thought Brian Wheat was a bit of a quiet guy. I saw that he'd done some interviews; they were all really short, and I thought, well, maybe he's not, chatty. So I was prepared to to lead. Sometimes you have to lead the dance. Sometimes the guest chats away. Other times you have to kind of push. He was great, and we had a really great conversation. He has a book out called "Son of a Milkman." Do you know what that means, Johnny?
like the wife cheated and she with the
Yeah,
milkman, and like you could say the kid, you got the milkman's eyes.
yeah, you were 100% right. He said that the milkman dropped off a little cream, and
Oh, make it dirty.
he said it, not me. Uh,
Makes it dirty. Well, when I think of cream and wheats, I think of cereal.
Never thought of that. Yes, the milkman would have something
Fields
to
of wheat, cream of wheat.
yeah. No, I think you're onto something.
with the hat, it's got the spoon. Fields of wheat, cream of wheat.
Yeah, it was a good interview. Learned a lot. Uh, uh, One of the things that I found interesting is he discusses. It's hard for us to talk about this seriously because we're already laughing, but he discusses
Mm.
dealing with bulimia when he was younger. He said that a lot of musicians were doing that.
I'm trying to get that now.
Yeah, you're late to the party, but he said that a lot of known musicians at the time were doing that. He said he was a fat kid and he wanted to lose weight. He talks also about he has an autoimmune disease and he takes prednisone, which is a
Mm.
steroid,
Really?
which
I took
will,
that.
yeah, I've taken it too. It's terrible. It will balloon your appearance. And so I think it's good that he's
Mm.
honest about it because, yes, he does. When you see him, he looks a little different than he did when he was a young guy. And that's what he's dealing with. And we're fortunate that he
Yeah.
did before. He also
Mm.
he said a few things that I believe will be on the blabbermouth. And he
Oh,
said some
uh-oh.
newsworthy things. He didn't seem to have any regret about saying them. He didn't tell me not to put it out, but there's news.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's some news. There's some news. And last
Uh-oh.
thing about Brian is that they will be here in Las Vegas, Johnny. We're going to go see the guys. They're doing a 5-night residency at the House of Blues in the
Who?
month of March at Tesla, and
Oh, yeah.
each night is a different set list. Geared
Mm.
towards different albums. So if you're a fan of Tesla, I am. You want to catch this because you'll see all kinds of different things.
Okay,
So anyway,
that's good. That sounds
yeah, it's
good.
fun. I think
Mhm.
people nowadays, myself included, see bands come to town and go, I'm over it. I'll see them next time. But listen, we're running out of times. But people are getting
Okay.
older. People are passing away. Life is changing, and we spent so many years at home. It now's the chance to go see it. And so I urge people, if you're in Las Vegas or planning on taking a trip, check out Tesla at the House of Blues. It could open the doors for other bands of that level. You know, we're used to Elton John and Cher or whoever the hell, Bruno Marsden or Lady Gaga. You know, that kind of whatever these hip things that the kids are into. But you know, anyway, I think is that what they're into? Anyway, Tesla at the House of Blues. I recommend it. Johnny and I are going to go. You can come and be our guest. Maybe Brian will give us some tickets.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, Johnny is the guy who's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll catch him next time. We did see them in the Key West, and they were good. I thought they were good. We enjoyed it. Johnny was a little inebriated. Johnny kept chanting for Edison. He was confused. And while everyone else
I'm still exhausted.
Yeah, he hasn't slept it off yet. So let's. We're going to talk a little bit about the great Mark Weiss controversy, and we're going to talk about whatever the audience wants to talk about. I see the comments are coming in. We'll get to them, and let's talk about Arizona briefly. You know, I always say that this show was not built on Stephen Piercy. I had the show long before I was tour managing Stephen, and I think people like to hear some of the stories of our daily life. But in no means did I say this will be the Stephen Piercy recap show. But I do like to tell the stories that people enjoy, and that goes for the tour diary. Johnny, people love the tour diary. I don't know if you know this. They like to see you in awkward positions. They like to see you suffer.
Which one is out now?
That's a good question.
Which one's the latest? Which one's the latest one that's out right now?
I'm glad you asked because there was a problem with it. The latest episode is from Mount Rushmore at Sturgis, and it was.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'm a little behind, and the problem was if you upload a video to YouTube and there's music that's copywritten, you could get a strike, or you could share it with the person, or they just say you can't use it. Well, Stephen Pierce likes to come on stage to the James Bond theme composed by a man named John Bond. And YouTube said it's a no-go. And they give you the option to just remove the sound from that clip, and then it becomes a silent picture. They did that, but it threw off all the timing of the rest of the video.
Oh, yeah.
It was an interesting trip, that one. That's the one. I just had my biopsy, so I had a big scar on my nose. At that point, I knew I had cancer. It was the first trip that I went out, skin cancer. And you and I missed our flights. Do you remember? We didn't miss them. They changed the flights. And Stephen and Christy got an early one, and me and you went the next morning. It was one of those hell.
I don't know if I remember it.
Yeah, we slept in the airport for hours. I remember that.
That doesn't sound good.
And then Stephen picked us up at the airport, and he drives like a race car driver and parks like one too. And so all those things were in there. It was kind of fun. We did go, the Sturgis was an odd thing. The band Liliac opened, and I think I'm going to have them on the show. Where are they from?
Transylvania.
Yeah. They are a young family band from Transylvania.
Vampires.
They may be vampires.
They're for sure vampires. They had all the windows on the bus blocked out, and they travel with Redkin or
Renfield.
Renfield.
Yeah,
they're for sure vampires. There's no way they're not.
We'll ask them when they come.
The father said he was 100. Yeah, they brought their father, and then the other man, who told me he was 200. You're not out there working with a young band at 200. Just saying.
Well, and we think they're kids, but they may feed on blood and not be as young as they appear.
I think that's correct, and I think if they don't get their blood, or they get hit with sunlight or holy water, they will turn into the real form of themselves, which it's gonna be scary.
Luckily, it was a nighttime performance. Thankfully, it was interesting. I don't never want the band look bad, but when you're told you're going to Sturgis, you believe that you're playing the big motorcycle rally. That was not the stage that we were on. That was a strange.
I swallowed 3 bugs.
There was a lot of bugs. The trailer was loaded with bugs. Not just tapping.
Again, when they travel with the coffins,
you're right.
There's bugs. They put the bugs in there because they like to be around the bugs, the dead.
I didn't necessarily think of that, but I think you have a good point. Then at the end of the trip, we went to this thing that they call Mount Rushmore. I think that's a landmark. We went. We rarely. Yeah. This band rarely does anything together, but that day we all went to Mount Rushmore. We had a nice time. Anyway, so that's the current tour diary. The next one, Johnny, is my favorite, but I am editing so furiously. There's so much that happened on the next one that I might have to cut it into 2 parts. We went to Colorado, which wasn't that eventful, but there was still some funny things. And then from there, we went to Iowa, where all hell broke loose. That was one of those. Well, first we caught Alanis Morissette lip syncing.
Oh, that one. Right.
She was lip syncing and we caught her. But besides that, we ran into politicians in the airports and then I discovered when I first checked into my room that in the event in the bathroom, I could hear Stephen and Christy's conversations every single word.
That's right. That's super funny.
And in that episode, Johnny, you discovered a song about shaving cream that you really enjoyed, and you used it for your social media. Old timey song, right?
Those are the best. The songs about shaving cream. There's no modern ones that sound good.
Right.
I just ordered some razor blades on Amazon. You know how much those are? Those Mach 5, the orange with the blue strip on the top.
$20.
I think you get like 5 of them in a pack.
$25.
That's if you just get one and the handle. To get like 4 or 5, it's like $50. Because they want you to join that shave club, which I'm not sure about cocoa butter and making your own, formula.
You come from a family of barbers, Johnny, and if anyone knows shaving, the real shaving with a sharp object, that would be you.
Well, I'm not going to use a straight razor, but it's like I'm trying to find the best ones, and if once I used one razor blade for a whole year. And it's not good at the end. You should just change the blade once a month. That's how, rich people do it.
Do you keep
once a month.
Do you keep one for your face and one for your balls so that you don't mix the razor blades?
No, I have a different technique for that. No, I don't use a razor down there. I have an electric grooming tool. It's more like a clipper.
Yeah.
Lately, I don't know. I need to stretch more. It's like a whole ordeal. You're in like a position for a while, and then you got to do a lot of vacuuming, and it's a whole ordeal. It's like when you color your hair, or you're gonna do your toes, get them all smoothed out, take off all the rough edges. It's got to bend in, get in there. I catch a glimpse of myself, and it's
you got to sneak up on yourself. I have very smooth toes, by the way. I don't need any of those things.
You got to keep it up. You can't just let them go. I've seen some people with the feet that look like they should be hanging on to dear life of a bank tower.
Well, I don't want to sidetrack from what we're talking about, but this is a good segue you make. Johnny had a podcast long before he was on this podcast. There's 12 episodes. You can check it out. We should put a link in there, but you can follow Johnny's social media and get it as well. It's called. It's definitely not me. It's you, right? What is it called?
Oh, see, I don't even think we know each other.
Johnny, I talked a lot of. What's the name of your podcast, Johnny? Please.
I want to change it to Crab Legs Are Us. That's what I'm going to change it to, because you'll remember that. It's called, what is it called? Hold on, I got to call somebody. It's not me. It's absolutely you.
Absolutely you. Okay. You sure it's not definitely
Exclamation point.
Excellent. Listen, just search
I don't
Johnny
think it is.
Monaco wherever podcasts are found, and you will hear it. He posted a clip on YouTube called "The Patch." It's only 2 minutes, which I like, and Johnny tells a great story. Johnny, I feel like, do we tell the story, or do we tell people just to go listen to it?
Oh, we might have talked about it on the podcast before. So if they want to, review it, they can just go listen, because I kind of just summed it up. I really just wanted to, I was thinking about it and I still thought it was funny. And I didn't think enough people knew about it. And I wanted to draw some attention to the podcast. So I took it from a previous, episode, made like a little trailer for it.
Yeah. And it's very funny. It essentially, Johnny was in the band LA Guns, and the guys in the band wanted to all get patches. The manager that they had at the time, he's no longer with them. He's alive. He's just not with them. He wanted them to wear.
Sure he's alive? Yeah,
well,
he's alive.
But those we saw him not too long ago. But those patches, like they were in a gang or something, and they were $65, and they never came about. But Johnny tells it much, obviously funny, and it is an interesting story. But what made me think of the band LA Guns is, have you ever seen Tracy's feet?
I may have had a glimpse.
He has, and listen, I like Tracy, and I've really turned over a new leaf. I'm not making fun of LA Guns anymore. And I'm not even being funny, but Tracy's got a little bit of the athlete's foot, or I don't know what you even call it.
I don't know that foot is from the same species.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little talon-like, I think. And
I want my daddy's records back.
I want my daddy's records back. Yeah, there's a anyway. Oh, Johnny!
I clawed my camera. No, I everybody rolls the way they roll. I mean,
well, but he doesn't. I don't know. I feel like they Lamisil or something, or maybe surgery. He does not.
Oh, you think it's something like
Yeah, he has a fungus.
I mean, I'm not sure that. You never know. Maybe a once over can fix that, or some tools. Like some welding tools.
Mm-hmm, a blaster. He doesn't like to shower when he's on tour.
A grinder. Right.
Yeah. He believes that if you shower when you're on tour, you will get sick. That's what he believes, and so he doesn't like to shower. And look, these are not secrets. I think he talks about this all the time. I'm wondering. Allegedly, he is dating Orianthi right now, and Orianthi is the sweetheart of New Zealand, maybe the belle of the balls. I'm not sure, but she's a guitar player. She had this little hit pop song called "According to You," I think, and then
it's a good one. Sounds like a pop tune.
Pop tune, yeah. She was kind of like Avril Lavigne, but she'd shred a little bit. Then she got hired by Michael Jackson, and she appears in the movie Michael Jackson, This Is It or something, or whatever it's called. That might be Elvis. But anyway, the movie was about the rehearsals for Michael Jackson's final tour. It's final because he dies, spoiler alert. And Orianthi then went on to date, she went on to the Alice Cooper band, and she did that for a while. Mm-hmm. And then she dated Richie Sambora. He's in the Bon Jovi, and they were romantically inclined. Suddenly, she felt the blues. She became a blues guitarist, and they had a band together, I think called RSO or some nonsense. The relationship didn't work out. That happens sometimes in life. I know a lot of people are still mourning it, but apparently she found Tracy Guns, and it makes me wonder. Do you think that maybe because she dated Richie and she played with Alice and she put on the makeup, and she dated Richie and she put on the cowboy hat and played the blues? Do you think maybe with LA Guns, now that she is allegedly in a relationship. Do you think she will stop showering or maybe let her toenails grow out or something like that?
They're, they're in a relationship.
I don't know for sure, but that is what the word on the street is.
There's streets. I
Well,
usually
yeah,
just take the
yeah.
highway.
The streets of San Francisco, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I would think if that foot scratched you in the middle of the night, you're waking up and you're going to the ER
Hmm.
for a tetanus shot.
Yeah. No, I think
I mean,
you're.
that's just how some people roll. I mean, I see even a little tinge sometime of a coloration and I'm freaking out because, I think it's genetics, a lot of it. Or sometimes I watched Chip use his teeth to trim his toenails once. Now,
Really?
if I can get yeah. Now, if I can get my leg in my mouth, I don't know. It seems like if you get the wrong angle, you're going to rip it off wrong and it's going to go down the side and get into the skin.
He probably
He also used to
practiced.
color his toe.
Mhm. Go
He used
ahead.
to color his toes with a Sharpie. So it looked like someone like hit his foot with one of those big cartoon mallets.
Right. Uh, let's let the crowd be involved a little bit. You could say Tracy got his claws into Orianthi. That's she probably says she found her soulmate with Tracy. And of course, a lot of
Do you think
people.
when he's in the kitchen and she's cooking and he's perched, she yells at him, "Get down from that perch!"
Well,
And he comes down and swoops down like a squirrel's and like you're coming at a squirrel.
I'm just putting in some of the. Let's see. I'm sharing some of the
I bet
things.
she didn't have to. I'll bet she did not have to pay for a patch because if I was a beauty queen, I would get free stuff like trips to places,
Mm-hmm.
things at the
Transylvania.
store.
Michael says she was the Nita Strauss of her day. I managed Nita Strauss. I don't know if a lot of you know that, but I did. And I would say Orianthi is better. I would say she's better. Someone says she's hot. What happened to Tracy's wife and kids?
Duh.
That is a whole nother the conversation. I mean, I don't know. I listen. I'm not here to bash the guy. Steve R says, has she seen his foot? Apparently, I don't know if that's Steve Riley or Stevie Rochelle, but here's a nice one. L.A. Emasil Guns. That's not a bad little name for them.
I wonder if, like, when you're on the first date and you're in shorts and you're sitting down and you're like, so blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this movie's hilarious. And you go to cross your leg and you put it underneath this one. And then you sit back down like this. You're like, yes, wow, fuck, this popcorn's good. And then you got it. You know that you have the knee and then switch and then tuck that one back. Unless are they both? Yeah, I think they were both. Well, what if you just didn't take off your shoes and socks? You couldn't go
that's the other thing.
over
That's
to what?
I don't feel like we're talking out of school because he likes to sit around with his shoes off. Anyone who's known Tracy or been on a bus with him has seen him with his feet
That's
up.
right.
I don't think I'm.
That's right.
This is not a secret.
Yeah, so you're not really. It's like some of these people when they get on the airplane, they just wear sandals and they don't wear socks.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't. I can only imagine what the inside of their apartment looks like. If you're going to the airport with no socks on and just walking around the airport with that smug sense of accomplishment with flapping around in their shorts on their ear thing. What? No, you go. What? And they're just walking through the airport and they're holding like a bunch of stuff and they got a Coke and they're sweating. We're going to see all that Friday. So,
yeah, we are.
Yeah, because we're going to be at the airport.
Oh, yeah. I thought somehow we were going to see Tracy Gunn's toes. I was like, where are you going?
No. I'm comparing the toes to these people that walk around at the airport with no socks on,
Yeah.
because that stuff, you could pick that up. If that touches something and then it's active and then your foot touches that, you can get it on you. That's why you shouldn't be walking around the hotel rooms with no socks on, because you know how many scumbags stay in those places and they're filthy feet. There's like shavings of just like, the skin just shaves off. You don't even, it's microscopic. You don't even know it's coming off you. It's just
Johnny, I
coming
think
off, and it's
a little disgusting. But let's clean everything up. More PG. Let's play the F Marry Kill game with Orianthi, Nita Strauss, Tawny Kitaen in her heyday.
Oh,
Not deceased. That would be wrong. This is a
All
tough one for me because I know one of these people. Huh.
I can't. I don't know what to say.
Tawny Kitaen was wild. From all accounts,
All right.
She was married to a baseball player named Chuck Finley. He played for the Angels and among other teams. And while they were driving, she violently slammed her foot, I believe with a heel, onto his foot that was on the gas and was trying to cause them to wreck the car.
That's not good.
No, it is not Chuck Finley in the photo, by the way. But well, I'll answer this. It's tough.
Okay, go ahead. Already know the answer.
No, picking one of these broads to be stuck with is the hard part. I would bang I'd bang them all. But
all right, hold on a second. So the one that you're going to be stuck with is the Mary. So I'm going to guess which one. I'll guess.
Okay, you're going to guess what I'm going to say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, who was the second one again?
Well, it's Orianthi, Nita, and Tawny.
All right, you are going to marry Oriental.
I think you're right. Her sister is Lentil, apparently, or Yental.
Just because, okay. Well, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I only went to community college. I don't know any Russian. She's Russian, right?
I think she's New Zealish. I think
Czechoslovakian.
Possibly.
Okay.
I think you're correct, though. The Tracy Guns thing turns me off a little bit, though. It does.
Yeah, but we don't know how it's going to end. We'll know more in a couple weeks. All right. So then, the other one that you would rather kill would be, Nina Strauss.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know why. I just picture that would be somebody that you would either. Well, right, and then the other one.
Wrong. I think she's hot. Although I've heard people say the opposite at times, but I don't want to get into that. But but no, she's not for me. Like I said, I did know her, and there's a lot of personal things that I can't say.
Oh, okay. Is it like farting?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. I'm sure she does.
I will.
Nita Strauss is
not tolerate
a farter. Yeah, Nita Strauss is an expert on Star Wars, though. like nuts. Like she knows everything about Star Wars.
Well, that's good.
But not like
like that.
She knows Darth Vader's the father, but she also knows the number of like sick bay or whatever bullshit.
The number of sick bay.
Like she knows like the cabin numbers on the, she knows strange stuff. She knows the code to disarm.
It's okay. It's all right if you're really into it like that. That's cool. I like those movies too.
In her prime.
Yeah.
She's not my favorite, by the way. I'm not a Tawny Kitaen fan. Johnny, 200.
You're the one who wanted
208 people. Chad says Tawny was a natural beauty, unlike those other two. And
you think we could have put Lindsay Lohan in there?
Yeah, here's an interesting
Lindsay Lohan.
I don't know who this is. Somebody says maybe they'll replace Orianthi will replace Ace Von Johnson. I don't know who Ace Von Johnson is. I'm assuming he's one of the guys in LA Guns that doesn't matter. There's 3 guys in the Phil Tracy version that are completely pointless. I guess he's one of them. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if Orianthi would join. Johnny told me yesterday, we had lunch together. Johnny had a feast. He told me what he got paid when he was in LA Guns. I would not reveal that here. But I will say that if you're the guy in LA Guns who's not the guy, or you're in Faster Pussy, or any of those bands, I don't know how you're staying alive.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are out
I don't
there.
know, maybe they changed it or something, or I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, people seem to be okay with my choices. Coey, I think that says Coey, says you look a little bit like Derek Frigo today.
Yeah, you need a haircut.
I think he's talking to you.
Oh. Well, I did just have some texture done. I don't like how sometimes I'll like how it looks, and then sometimes I'll see a picture and I'll be like, that looks terrible. I should just cut it all off. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it has to do with angles and lighting and whatever mood this is in. I try to be up tempo. Otherwise you look grumpy in photos, and only General Patton looks good grumpy in photos.
Mark Weiss gave you some photo tips.
That's right. He said, when you address people, to stick out like you're trying to say what? Like you're trying to listen. Mm-hmm. And if you'll notice in the interview, he tends to do that. So maybe he's got something there.
Yes.
Does it look better when I do that?
I think so. I found myself doing it in my Brian Wheat interview. But
do you like better?
I don't know. I'll just have to see if I get used to it. But this all reminds me. All these angles remind me of the Shaving Cream song. And so Johnny found this song that involved shaving cream. It was very funny, old-fashioned, old-timey song. And it was one of those really, really late nights. And me and Johnny were making a residence in the lobby of the hotel, also probably making a public nuisance. And I decided it would be a good idea to play the Shaving Cream song on your phone through the vent in my bathroom. And so Johnny came up and this is the kind of thing you do at 3:30 in the morning. We played the Shaving Cream song for my neighbors. Anyway, all of that's in there. We played a show in the rain. It was a fun time. We rode around in a golf cart. Johnny and I went to the fair, and we had a great time. Anyway, this trip also has a thing called P-Gate, so named by Johnny Monaco. One of the controversial things that you will ever see is P-Gate. It's like watching the Zapruder film. And I will give you a little idea to tease it. That I was sleeping. It was one of the rare days where we didn't have to get up early. We really didn't have to get up till 3 or 4 p.m. And I slept in, and I heard a commotion in my hallway, a tussle, if you will. And Eric Ferrantino, so you guys know Eric from Steven's band, and he's been on the show. A nice guy. He sometimes a nice guy. Sometimes he can get a little angry. He's had temper issues at times, not all the time, but sometimes he can blow up. Well, he was out there having a full-on scrap. He was yelling, and then I couldn't tell who he was yelling at, but I knew something was wrong, and I was alarmed. And Johnny started banging on my door that you've got to get out here. Something's going on. And I got dressed and I went out, and I was informed that housekeeping accused Eric of wetting the bed. And we could not believe it. So Johnny and I launched a full investigation. We went into his room, we stripped the mattresses, and listen, the episode will reveal. You can decide yourself whether or not Eric wet the bed. We don't believe he did. But you may think otherwise. We checked, and Eric was a good sport. He tells his side of it. Eric and I drove over to the venue together. They sent a car for us, and he told his side of what happened. And he did not want to go down in history as a bedwetter. He did not want that on his permanent record. and they switched him to another room. It does seem like yes, there was a wet spot in the bed. It was very humid, but it also was the stain was in the mattress. I don't believe that if he had peed the bed, it would have been a dark brown stain.
No, right.
Something was wrong. They may have rented him a room where someone else had wetted the bed, or maybe so the bed was stained, and when they put the sheet on it, the piss past. The piss of past may have risen into
regenerated, right?
And poor Eric is laying under the bed. Hotels suck. I talked to Brian Weed about it today. He said he wishes he'd never stay in a hotel. What sucks when you stay at a hotel?
Terrible.
Sometimes they get you an early check-in, and you have to wait for people to check out. You don't want to see it because then you see the person who's leaving the room that you're going into, and that picture. The picture is too much. It's never a Farrah Fawcett.
No, they're hairy asses, back hair.
Yes, and and they're pissing in the bed,
dragging their arms on the ground. Yeah, shitting all over the thing. Yeah, their hair's falling out of wherever and then getting into the carpet, and it gets into you. It's viral shedding.
Coors Lightly believes that Eric dropped a water bottle. Well,
that's possible. I mean, we did. You'll have to just watch it. I don't remember most of it, but I remember it being pretty funny.
Yeah, maybe his girlfriend was a squirter. He was not with his girlfriend. I mean, he was in a relationship, but she was not on the road. And I don't think he would ever bring home random squirters. He's a faithful man.
Terrible.
James says it's no big deal getting to bed. Eric's probably watching now. I should have brought him on. We'll bring him on next week after.
I can't wet mine because I have it on Craigslist right now, and there's no way I'll be able to get even a penny if I wet it.
Hold on, Johnny. Sinkin Stanley is here. Are you familiar with Sinkin Stanley?
No.
He has a YouTube show where he essentially busts Paul Stanley's balls. And there's a lot of funny videos. He just made news. I'm assuming this is the same Sinkin Stanley. How many Sinkin Stanleys can there be? He asked Doc McGee if Paul Stanley used tracks, and Doc McGee fell for it and said, "Well, he sings to tracks. He sings all the tracks." And here he is. My friend is a big Kiss fan. He sent me the link to Sinkin Stanley's. It is him. And I recommend you guys check it out. It's funny if you're a Kiss fan and you like a little Kiss parody and things. Anyway, Doc McGee said he sings the tracks, but he sings all the tracks. Doc McGee didn't know how to say it. He was a little blindsided. And I believe that the Sinkin Stanley's video is a little bit viral now. I'm not positive, Sinkin Stanley, but I think you also may have been one of the people to expose the backing tracks. They have backing tracks, Johnny, that sound a lot like the tracks that Johnny's produced tracks for people in Vegas things, and if they tell you where to come in and things like that. It's a standard thing. It's not necessarily cheating. And anyway, and that's Sinkin Stanley. So I think a lot of people here probably know him. Yeah, a lot of people excited that he's here watching. I'm glad he's here as well. It's a fun if you're up for a good Kiss laugh.
Okay, I like that.
He's your guy. And they also exposed Wasp. That's right. They went backstage, I believe, and they interviewed. They were at a meet and greet. Blackie Lawless admitted that he uses tracks. Coffee Enthusiast is saying goodbye. I don't know if it's something we said, but I hope it was not. There's 213 people watching right now. Not a single super chat. I should point that out. Anyway, so P-Gate. Eric is a good sport, and he's excited to have his day in court. And here one of the members of the Sink Army asked Blackie, but he's looking. Eric is looking forward to making his case that he is not a bed wetter. So you'll see that when we did our investigation, I looked out the window. We were in Iowa, I believe, and there was an arena. A sports arena or a concert venue. And it turns out that Elvis Presley played the first show ever at that venue. He was one of his last shows was there. And it's also the place where Ozzy bit the head off the bat. So you always get some interesting moments on the tour diaries. I'm glad people like them so much. I wish I could edit faster and get these things out because there's so many fun things that we did. As Johnny kind of alluded to earlier, he doesn't even remember which one is which because it's such a blur. I'm glad I've recorded them because a lot of the things when I watched them back, I would not have remembered. I don't even know if I would have remembered Eric peeing the bed, or allegedly peeing the bed, even though it's very funny and again he's a good sport about it. So that episode is coming up. And we're taking a long way to get to where we're going. So last week we had, there's a super chat. Thank God. And here's Brian Kirk. Thanks. Take Johnny out to dinner, but it's Canadian. It won't get you much. Well, I'll get Johnny poutine and ketchup chips. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Brian got his Funko Pop, by the way. There was 2 of them made. The money went to Toys for Tots around Christmas time. I took forever to ship it, but I did get it out to him, and I appreciate it. The super chat was not necessary, but appreciate it. It cost only $85 to ship to Canada. I'm kidding, but I'm glad you got it, and we're going to have some different ones. I'm never going to sell the same thing. We'll have a variation next time, and we'll find a good cause to give that to. So last week, 10,000 plus people tuned in. If you haven't seen it, you can go watch it. This photo, Johnny, as you know, has been really tearing up the internet.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was you.
Hear.
Yeah, some people thought it was you.
Me, no, I didn't look like that back then.
Yeah, some people thought. Now this is 1987. You would have been 6 years old.
Maybe a little bit. Oh, yeah. Right. No, I mean, I didn't really dress like that. But I was in the Bang Tango video with the boxing ring.
Yeah, that's a thing about you that I don't think anyone knows.
That's a pretty popular from that era, right? So I was around for those. I did extra work in some of those. Mm-hmm. But I don't know who that is. You said you know. I probably wouldn't even know if you said it.
I would ruin it if I said whether or not you would know. But so
no, I don't.
Mark Weiss came on the show. I asked him, "Do you know who it is?" And he said, "Well, the first time he said, yeah." And then I told him, "Well, let's reveal it." And then he said, "To be honest, I don't even remember who it is." And so then we knew, well, it's not Joan Jett. He would remember if Joan Jett and Tawny Kitaen were doing a girl photo shoot in his studio by Madison Square Garden. So he said, "But don't worry, Tawny texted me the name of the person and I'll read it on the show." And then I told him right before the show, "You're sure you know?" He said, "Yes." He came on the show. We talked about the photos. We showed a series of photos of Tawny, beautiful photos. And she these are photos that had never been seen, and we put them out for the first time. And then we put out this photo that you're going to see right now, which is a better view of the mystery guitar player's face. And that does help to rule out certain people. Then when I said, "Mark, what is the big reveal?" He didn't have one. He said that he believes that it's Nasty Suicide. I believe he said that because it was sort of convenient. People were guessing that. He told me that he didn't want to let people down by postponing again. And so he wanted to come on. And in some ways, it was Al Capone's fault. Although I can't say when people told me they loved watching it. They loved seeing the reaction on my face when Mark did not know who the guitar player was. And like I said, I'm confirming that it is not Nasty Suicide. But other than that, it still could be any one of the people that have been guessed. It could be a member of LA Guns. It could be a member of Faster Pussycat. It could be a lot of people. And it'll be an interesting story. So Mark and I were discussing, how do we proceed? How do we find the person? And him and I went out, just as you and I investigated the pee in Eric's bed, Mark Weiss and I teamed up, kind of like a buddy cop film. And we went out and we did our homework to try and find the person. I won't tell you if we know exactly where the person is. I can't tell you if the person's going to come on the show. I don't know yet. But we do have two mystery guests who people who like the rock and roll will be familiar with. They are going to come on and tell us what was happening at this time. As I said, there may be some controversy surrounding this. These are lost photos, and also the photos of Tawny putting a Sharpie in her mouth as if it was a lollipop, testing out for the Twisted Sister "Love Is for Suckers" cover. Mark messaged Dee Snider yesterday. We're going to have Dee on the show. I believe that's going to happen, and he's going to show him those lost photos that have never test photos that have never been seen. And we're going to look at more photos from this photo shoot that's never been seen. Mark will talk a little bit about his cataloging system and how he finds these things and these random people. He then showed me his emails with Tawny, and I will tell you that Tawny's reaction to the person and the situation is very interesting. And I will tell you that text messages as well, and we will show all of that. All in good spirits. I don't think we're hurting anyone. Tawny obviously has passed. She's had a crazy past. This won't be that shocking, but it will be interesting. So that's next Wednesday. Mark Weiss returns, and I can guarantee we will tell you who it is in that particular photograph. We'll look at more photos from the shoot of Tawny as well. And anyway, and so right now it's on its way to being the most viewed live show in the history of Waste Some Time with Jason Green. People just cannot get enough of this mystery. Jet believes that it is Scotty Griffin in the photo.
Scotty Griffin.
It could be. It could be. You don't know.
Did he have hair like that back then? For that year, he's a little younger.
I think it is not him. Well, I know who it is, but I wouldn't. That photo does not look like Scotty Griffin. Spike from the Choir Boys. I think that Sinkin' Stanley.
That looks cool.
I think Sinkin' Stanley was on Eddie Trunk, maybe, because people are talking to him. I think that, he came on and he told his. I know we jump around. Kelly Nichols is one of the top answers that I've seen. Someone thinks it's a member of the Black Crows. Someone thinks it could be Sinkin' Stanley. I think it could be Stanley from Life, Sex, and Death. Tim is asking where Michelle is. Michelle is not always on the show. Michelle is a student in law school and and to make sure that she doesn't end up like me and Johnny, or Johnny and I, she's getting an education. Tammy Down is the king of sleaze. I don't know if that's just a statement, but Mick says it's Chris Holmes with dyed black hair. And a lot of people are called icons, but Tawny really was. Let's see. The hat that Tawny is wearing definitely looks like something Nasty would wear. Well, maybe I'm bluffing. Tammy Down is a badass. I texted Tammy Down last night. I wonder if these people know that. I texted Tammy and asked him to come on the show. I've known him for a long time. Tom Kiefer. Georgia says, is it Tom Kiefer? That has been one of the most popular opinions, guesses. Tom Kiefer. And then here's one. Of course he knows who it is. It's him. A lot of people believe it's Mark Weiss. That we're pulling the bandana over the eyes, so to speak, and that all along that is a photo of Mark Weiss. Someone asking when the Tammy Down interview is. It's when he responds to me. Brian Damage. Brian Damage Foresight of Kicks. Johnny, have you seen what Brian Damage Foresight eats?
Yeah.
Brian Foresight.
I don't know.
He's a great guy, and he's been on the show, and he was a great guest.
Yeah.
He only believes in eating meat, animal products, but the amount of meat that he eats, I worry about his cholesterol. And he's got this doctor that he likes and he follows. The guy could be a quack. I'm not sure. I like some of the things he says about sugar. He's very on diabetes sugar, how much sugar is in bread, things you don't realize that have sugar and carbs that are bad for your insulin, especially if you're insulin resistant. And so, like myself, but he eats lots and lots of meat. For lunch, he'll have five guys hamburgers with no bread. He likes that. He likes the food pyramid for him is like elk, bison, pig, pork, and it's meat, and nothing else. I don't know why I find that so interesting, but let's see.
So I feel the same way every time I walk into a locker room.
Spirit medium Daniel. He's a spirit and he's a medium. He would love to have Johnny on his podcast, and Johnny loves getting requests, and so you can write to him. He's much nicer than I am. People still saying that it's Mark Weiss. A lot of people saying it's Mark Weiss, and that maybe we were being silly. Black Crows are playing Vegas. Yes, they're playing here for Super Bowl weekend. Johnny, did you know it's Super Bowl weekend?
I do, and we're going to be out of town at the Super Bowl party with Eddie Trunk.
That's right, Eddie Trunk's. We're going to be part of the pre-Super Bowl party, and Eddie Trunk is hosting. Yeah, Eddie Trunk likes Johnny. He's not. But he likes a lot of silly people. But no, he likes Johnny, and I think I introduced you guys for the first time, or at least that he remembered.
Yeah, we talked about my rent.
That's right. He was going to move into your building.
Yeah, he said D. Schneider used to live in this building. Anything about that? Okay.
And he said that D. Snyder's, it was too expensive for him, for Eddie. He could not take on what D was paying.
Well, he said the HOA was a lot, which doesn't apply to me because I'm just renting. So it's really, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
You don't even have a lease. At this point, you're kind of a squatter.
I could get up and leave at any time I want. I could take all my stuff, everything in my sock drawer, my pan, my spoon, and my coffee maker. Just take what you need, and I could be out of here. But where would I go?
Like Steve Martin in The Jerk.
That's right. I resemble that remark. I would be. It was, we talked about it, and he's like, well, because he's got a place not too far from here, but he bought his place, and I'm sure it's real nice and everything. I'm in here because I didn't want to move into a full house because I didn't think you need that much room. Although now I'm kind of wanting to go back to a house, but you have a lot of space. You got to furnish all that. You got to heat it. I don't even have a couch here. I haven't turned on that unit in 3 months, 4 months, whenever it was warm last. I have not turned it on since. I don't need any heat or air conditioning. Huh?
A fireplace you have?
No, the air conditioning and the heater, the thermostat. I haven't turned it on.
You're just living au natural in your house.
That's right.
You don't have
you can get away with it. No, you can get away with it in a small area.
Johnny, wait a second. Huh? You're telling me you don't run any heat?
No, because when you're in a building like this with all these schmucks, I think that's what they call them, renters. The heat from the building, and there's no draft, there's no like standing wall. You're on one side, so they heat up. I looked at my thermostat the other day and it said it was 76, 78 degrees in here. And I had nothing going on. I had the door open. It was colder outside than it was in the house or in here. And that's the thing about these apartments. They heat up.
Your power bill must be $7. You must pay nothing.
Well, you would think. You would think, but it's still like $50 to $70. And I don't know why, but they sent me an email the other day trying to explain themselves. Like, we know it's expensive for electricity, but here's why. And they give you all these reasons, like, costs more to do it because of the embargo. You're not talking about Cuba, though.
Cuba.
And that's all I think of when I think of an embargo. So somehow they have reasons to why it's still expensive. But I don't do any solar. I can open my window and I'm on the 11th floor. I have a mountain view. So in the summer, though, it's too hot. You can't do that. So after September, between October, November, December, January, February, almost 6 months out of the year, you could just kind of coast, like in your car when you put it in neutral and just turn the key and hit the lights off in the desert and you're just going. Ever do that?
No, I don't. Never done that.
Turn the light. Yeah. See how far you can go with the lights off. It's scary.
I've done that in my relationships. I have a fireplace. I have a fireplace. It's right on my left here. I've never used it. I'm fearful of it.
You don't need to turn. Now, if you're in a house, you could probably do, but then that adds in, and the bill's more, and then you're talking $350 on top of the rent as it is, if not more. Because then there's a garbage charge and a landscaping bullshit, and this place comes with the internet too.
Yeah, that's good to have.
You got to play internet. You're going to add $400 onto that bill. So this is better than an apartment, but not as nice as a house. So it's kind of into it. Some people like to live like this. I don't like to live with other people. I don't. Community living. It's not for me.
I have a nice little that my condo. I don't really see anybody. There are people. Most of them are dead, but there are no in the little compound here. I don't really see anybody. Hold on, Jet is here.
Yeah, I don't sound.
Jet has something to say. I'll put on my glasses. Question for Johnny. My boss is trying to guilt me into going to a Super Bowl party. This is the person to ask. Johnny's perfect for this. Not much into social gatherings. Should I go or not
go? Well, I mean, obviously, do what you want to do, but I wouldn't go. I would just say I would, but I'm going to be out of town.
Right.
Actually, I said that.
This is like Ann Landers.
For real.
This is like Ann Landers.
Yeah. I would, but I'm going out of town. Thanks for thinking of me. That way, keep everything okay, and they don't know if you're lying or not, for sure. Because otherwise, what are you going to say? Have a great time. Hope they get a home run. I'm really not into sports ball, and I don't drive a truck with my brights on.
Yeah, there's an episode of
you can't do.
There's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry, they say that he's a social assassin, and people start to ask Larry to do things for them. Like this one husband, he dates a woman, and when she drinks, she goes, and he says, Larry, you got to tell her to stop doing that. And so Larry, he kind of makes an industry of that. That could be Johnny. Johnny could tell you all how to get out of things. So yeah, keep your questions coming. Keep your questions.
I have an electric. It's an electric stove that I only use now. I never used it before because I used to go to restaurants all the time, but I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. So I'm meal prepping, like some smart ass commented on a couple other ones, and I use the oven for 30 minutes. Then I shut it off. I'll use 32 minutes. I broil it at the end. I use chicken. I just do chicken and broccoli. Sometimes I'll sub for pea pods, and I have some wild rice.
Eric had in the hotel room. Pea pod. This Skylar says he's surprised that I haven't noticed the troll. I assume everyone is a troll at first, but no, maybe I haven't. I don't know.
Who's the troll?
I'm not really sure. I didn't really find anyone to be saying anything all that offensive.
Well,
they're thinking maybe it's I don't know. Call out the troll. I don't know.
Is it not Max Wright?
And I think that's what they're saying.
Me, and I wasn't making fun of him. Oh,
Max
Wright
he
wasn't making fun.
Max Wright was the father on Alf, if you didn't know. I think he was saying that he's watching your TV behind you. I think that's what he was saying.
Oh, so I could turn it off. Is it distracting? You want me to turn it off? I leave it on just because, like, I have it dialed in here to where I know what things heat up the most and heat up the less. So that adds a little light in the room. It kind of distracts me a little. But because it's an older TV, it gives off a little heat. So I'll keep the door open to balance it out.
Mhm.
And I also have a salt lamp. Gives off a little heat. But everything else in here is pretty much lo-fi. And I only have like 3 or 4 things on, and they're all very
I like that you have the real light back there. I think it looks good. I need something back there, some real light. I think it makes your whole picture look good. I like it.
I think it makes it look natural light. Yeah.
They're saying that the troll was at the beginning. I mean, wow, just out him.
Who's in the beginning? Let's see.
Just out him. Yeah.
Let's see.
Skylar,
Does he play guitar in the band? I don't know. I'm looking. Who knows? It could be. It's exhausting keeping up with people.
Listen,
it's like all day.
Johnny, most of the people who have these shows, they only talk to the people who super chat, and they do a show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like you and I, we prepare all week for this, and we make notes, and we go over what we're going to discuss. All right, that's bullshit. I text Johnny 30 minutes before. Hey, you want to do a show? Why not? And that's it.
No, we sometimes have material, but we forget it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I start writing that stuff down.
But everyone can say whatever they want. I don't really care.
Someone said they were making fun of me.
Someone might have called you an Italian woman. I don't know if that's an insult. A lot of people think that.
Do I look like I lost any weight?
A lot of people are Team Johnny. Team Johnny is very popular, which is a good thing.
I have.
Johnny, yesterday I was concerned that you weren't eating enough calories. You're doing this chicken and this broccoli, and I'm dreading sitting next to you on a plane, considering all you eat is chicken and broccoli. You're going to be farting the entire flight.
I only do that at nighttime. I don't eat. I fast during the day. That's like a new thing now. People are like, "Oh, intermittent fasting." I've been doing that.
Yeah,
I'm just not hungry in the daytime.
It's healthy.
Well, you drink some coffee, do a little hits, and you play your guitar for 7 hours. When are you going to have time to eat?
Right, and you sleep.
Sometimes I'll have a smoothie. Yeah,
you don't eat in your sleep.
Right. I don't wake up. Sometimes I go to bed a little hungry, but that's how you know it's working. And then when you wake up, you're not supposed to do that, because then your body stores fat and then it releases more fat into the areas that you're trying to lose. I understand. But you got to balance it, And if you start bringing down your intake, like if you're not doing a lot of stuff running around, you don't need a lot of carbs. But if you're going to be doing something where you need energy, well, then, yeah, you need to eat some carbs. So if I'm in the house for 3 or 4 days, I don't need to be sitting around eating carbs. So I'm just eating chicken that I marinated, and either broccoli or some other green, and then I have this rice, and I only eat like the palm size for each one. And then sometimes I'll have a Hershey bar, but I can't.
I think. I was concerned though, Johnny. I think this diet was a little. I wanted to make sure that you were getting all the food groups, all the nutrient groups. I noticed that you didn't mention crabs in what you're eating. So therefore, we went to the Wicked Spoon Buffet at the Cosmopolitan yesterday for lunch. It's only open until 3 p.m. We got there around 2 p.m. and we did some damage.
What do they do when we go there? What's the first thing they do? And we always get there late. What do they say?
They warn us of the time. Are you aware of the time?
They ask you, do you know what time it is?
Right.
I'm going to wear a big clock next time.
Flavor Flav always knows. Yeah.
Midwest. Yeah. But they say, are you aware of the time? Because they look at us and they're probably like, these guys can probably, are fine. But some of those monsters come in there, and I can definitely see why they need to tell those people, like, are you aware that you're not going to have 7 hours to eat here?
Right. Well, we eat 7 hours worth of food in 1 hour.
I'm telling you, man, some of those people that go to that place, they came and sit in the chair. Their arms can't even reach to the table. They got like plates everywhere. And they're grooming their kid for that. The kid's fat, little kids that are fat. That's terrible. That's like child abuse. And they just smile. They tell them to eat. And the kid's looking at me. He's like, and I'm like looking at him. Like,
Someone asked me today, Johnny, why do you wear the gloves? Is it to keep the scent off your hands, or tell us why you bring your own gloves?
No, it's you're in going into battle when you go to this place because I eat, I don't know, 100 crab legs. And it gets all over your hands, and your hands smell, and then it's all over your face, and there's butter in there, pieces of my hair. It just makes it cleaner. So I keep them all over the house. When I do my dishes, I wear them.
Or a bank
When
job?
I do my
Crack a safe?
My sauce, my marinade.
Pick a lock?
And when I do my hair, if I'm working on my car, they come in. They come in for a lot of good reasons.
Give an enema. Yeah, I get it.
Well, those come with them in the box. But mine are like surgical. Mine are the really good ones.
Right.
Hallard. Those are the ones you want. And you got to get the right size because if they're too tight, they break. They should.
You should.
I got a great deal on Amazon. They discontinued them for a while because everyone was buying them because of the pandemic. And for some reason, then everyone needs those, So I stored a little bit of them, but then I ran out. So I didn't have any for a long time. And my dentist always has a good line on them. So
you wait till he leaves the room and then take them.
I ordered mine from Amazon, but I bring them because when you're touching all that stuff, it gets in there. I don't want that. So and also it protects your hands a little because it really hurts opening crabs. I mean, normally if you're in the Philippines, it's not going to hurt. But if you're, eating in a restaurant and you're cracking crabs and they got the tool, and now I find out that someone watching the show sent me a link, and that was very nice of them, to an entire kit that you can buy that you bring to the restaurant. Basically, you unroll it and you have all these different instruments. There's a scraper, there's a cracker, there's scissors.
You're going to be like the Dexter of crab legs. I mean, you're bringing a kit.
I'm telling you, that's the way to do it. Yeah, half of them, because you're getting so many and it's all you can eat, you might just go through a half and leave it half open and there's still some in there, but I don't really care. But if it was your own, if you're really paying for this stuff and you cracked it, you'd want every little piece. So you got to get the scissors out. You got to get the scraper. You got to get they come. You can get them pristine and not have to eat so much. But I just kind of rip through them and I just go for the big chunks and whatever else is on there. I throw it on there because you saw how many. The pile was like this. And someone commented and they said, "Gross."
It's not for everybody.
Said, how long those things sit there, and those are the bugs of the ocean, and they just scavenge the bottom, and they
shrimp are the bugs.
It's like, but Pinchy, no Pinchy. I don't know. I
David is going to see us in Cohoes, New York. It's interesting. I had no idea what Cohoes is. I thought Cohoes was like a hoe and then her coho. But apparently it's somewhere in New York, maybe around Albany or something like that. I don't know. He could tell us, but it's the last stop of one of these trips from hell that we're going on. This is a tough one. We're going to do 3 in a row, Colorado to Connecticut to Cohoes. It's the CCC tour. So I don't know, but we're going to be there. And Johnny and I, we did just wrap up. Oh, hold on. Michael Perez is here. And it's almost time for my cat's dinner, the Bitsy Kibble Fund. Thank you so much, Michael. And Bitsy is around. I just saw her pass by. I have to feed her right before every show or she will talk. Johnny doesn't like when he talks to people on the phone and their pets get involved. Johnny knows a guy. He's a cuckold is what he is. But he has the dog barking and he allows the dog to bark the whole time. And I don't think that the dog is there to like perform with the guy's wife or anything like that. I think it's a pet, but I think it makes too much noise and it drives Johnny crazy. So I try to feed my cat before I get on the phone with Johnny and before that we broadcast such a classy show like this one. So yes, thank you, Michael Perez. Johnny Monaco crab kit is something he probably could.
There's a million of them on Amazon. They're out there. They've been there for a while. I just never knew it because usually when I'm eating crabs, it's at Red Lobster, and you're not going to be there too long. It's very overpriced. The place we go is crazy.
Yeah, and let's see.
So many crabs.
I love questions like this, Tim Noble. How much to book Stephen Pearson? Well, I'm not a booking agent. That's the first part of it. Second of all, who would say, while there's 300 people watching, let's negotiate? Well, let's just say, Tim.
Why don't you make a deal right now?
Yeah. Tim, you've convinced me. Tim, since you're interested, let's give me a little information first. What city, what market, and what size venue are you looking to fill? And then maybe I can give you a better idea. I'll wait while you think of that, Tim.
And how many bands are going to be on the bill? What part of the country is it in?
Yeah.
What will the logistics be as far as flights and accommodations?
Catering. This band is very uptight. They want to make sure that they have proper food. Crab's legs.
Here's how it's going to go. We all eat crab legs, and we're all going to have prime whatever. It's ours.
Johnny and I spent a weekend with Dana Strum from Slaughter. I like him, and so does Johnny. A lot of people have weird feelings about him. Dana will point out to you that anyone who says anything bad about him has never done business with him because he is a good guy and he's a man of his word. He pays his bill. And he is very helpful. But when you play a show and Dana's on the bill, Dana will make the day sheet and he is organized. If you're another tour manager on the same day as their bands, you're in luck because Dana will get everything set. They like to do long sound checks, as long as 7 hours in Palm Springs. Wasn't just
I mean, you have to get that down to some of that stuff. You can't jump from a great height down to a drum throne without a little bit of practice.
The drummer juggles and he bounces and he dives and all those things. And
there's more. there's more.
Yeah, but he is not in Slaughter. So we were with Vince Neil's band, and Dana was great, and he got us a limousine. It was a big surprise. You'll see it in the tour diary. He got us a limousine to the airport. He wanted us to ride in style. And anyway, he's a nice guy. I spoke with him today. We're getting ready for the weekend. The band Slaughter has Jeff Blando on guitar, who also happens to be in Vince Neil's band. And then, of course, Mark Slaughter replacing Vince Neil as the singer. And then you have Slaughter, a different drummer. The guy's name is Jordan. I believe he was in that band, Adrenaline Mob. I think that's what it's called. They had a really horrible car accident, and he was there. And, very sad, but he's a good drummer. I, of course, am a fan of Blas Elias. I'm a purist. I'm a Blas purist. I saw Blas a couple of weeks ago, and I told Dana I think it's time to have Blas, get the boys back together. And who knows if he'll listen to me. But I'm skipping some of these questions. Johnny jammed with the Blando project. They had a new name. They do this event every year, and Stephen was a guest. I haven't stepped foot in this place called Vamped in 6 or 7 years. I went for the first time. I was happy to see George Lynch. I like George. I told George he's got to come back on the show. It's one of the most popular interviews on here. He looked kind of like Cousin Eddie. He's great though. His guitar playing is always great, and he's always very funny and dry. Anyway, they realized that they didn't have 2 guitar players to play the Rat song. Stephen asked you to come along, and you took the stage and you played songs that you don't always play or parts you don't always play, and people really enjoyed it. You jam in with the guys. That drummer's name is Mike Hunt, and he's very good. Will Hunt. He's very good. He was in the Evanescence, and he was in Slaughter for a little while. I think Mike Hunt is his brother. Will is the one who was playing. And then, K-Rock Media. Hi, Jason Green. How are you? Well, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you? Hey, where's the guy with our offer, by the way? Here's the guy with our offer. He must be late.
Maybe he went to Artists Worldwide already.
He might have. Yeah, that is not the agency to go to. Sullivan would be so upset. If you're looking for, well, I better not say anything. Okay, yeah. A lot of people don't know this. Danny Tanner of Full House, the late Bob Saget, his favorite band on the show was Slaughter. Well, he dated a younger girl who wanted to go to the Slaughter concert. Is actually what happened. Okay, let's see here. Somehow I don't think that offer was legitimate. You know, I know it sounds hard to believe, but it sounds like maybe
you should have jumped on it when you had the chance, because now someone else probably took it. I think Jeff Tate's Queensryche probably got the gig.
Yes, yeah, I think you're correct. Monica points out. Yeah. Monica points out that Blas Elias is a Spanish name. Well, his real name is Blas Elias Gomez, like the Adam sandwich. So yeah, it is a Spanish name.
Okay.
So anyway, so we did those shows, and I think we had fun. I don't really remember any of this. It's all a blur. I think it was nice. What did we do in Tempe, Arizona? Oh, we went to Jack in the Box.
Well, right? we did go to Jack in the Box. I had 2 tacos. The guy looked at me like it's like 47 cents. I don't want to eat a lot of that stuff anymore, but if I'm near a Jack in the Box, you have to have those tacos.
Yeah. The DoubleTree also has those hot cookies, and they're hard to resist.
Okay, I've been eating those cookies, even though I kind of freaked me out a little bit. We were in Florida because a roach this big was trying to pull my cookie bag across the counter. But in Phoenix, it wasn't like that. But that place was kind of weird too. I didn't like it.
It was like the world's oldest DoubleTree. It looked like the DoubleTree bought an existing motel chain and turned it into a DoubleTree.
It looked like Rock Hudson stayed there.
Who?
What?
Who did you say? Oh, Rock Hudson. Yes, I got that feeling. Do you turn your TV on when you're in the room? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Being in a room like that, laying in a sheet where they don't change the top one, and it's just there's a lot of brown, and there's everything's like carpet this and that, and you just know that there's stuff deep in the fibers. I'll just sit there in the bed and I don't want to move. It's so gross. Sometimes I'll sleep in my clothes. Yeah, but yeah, I'll turn the TV on, and then I'll turn it off. But again, that remote. Some people are really good. They
in someone's asshole. I know.
It just, yeah. I mean, it's you can do things, but it's a whole workout. You got to put a plastic around the thing, and then you got to, make sure you have your shoes on. Don't touch stuff. Use things to touch things. You're only in there for a short time, but I just find it even clean, even expensive ones. Some of these rooms are like $200-300.
Yeah,
and they're still awful.
Yes, I think it's location. Someone said Mark Slaughter would be a good guest. Yes, he will come on. I've spoke to him. I like Mark a lot. He doesn't do tons of these. He did some of them during COVID, but he will come on, and Dana will come on too. It'll be a matter of when they have something to promote. Someone also says that I should have Chris DeGarmo on. I would love to have him on, but he's not the easiest person to locate. But if you guys know him, another one about having Mark Slaughter on the show. Dick
Chasen was hard to locate.
Dick Chasen, he says, I'm new here, but really enjoy some videos I've recently checked out from your page, Jason. Well, thank you. And Dick makes a good point. Make sure you subscribe. And he didn't make that point, but he's new. That means there's other new people. There are 250 people watching now after an hour and a half of this nonsense. So let me, I'll do some plugs in a second. Billy Bong Waters wants to point out those tacos are $2 for $99. This name,
I like those tacos.
Jovi Shania, maybe? I don't know. She's concerned that Mark dropped the ball last week. Well, Mark Weiss will be back this week to maybe recover the balls, and you'll find out.
I mean, I thought he was pretty fair. He said what he knew, and he was pretty honest about it. He doesn't seem like somebody who would. Seems like he has it together. Photographers like that, they're very technical people. You don't just get that good and that, you know, because you just point and click. I mean, you need to kind of know about like how to adjust the lenses and which lens goes with what. And remember in high school, you used to develop the pictures in the dark room. The thing would spin around. All the nerds would be in there. You go in there in a dark room and develop photos. So it's kind of like scientific, you know. So I'm sure he told it like it was.
And guys like that had to, they had to progress as time has, you know, digital and all the other things.
Yeah, he knows how to do all that too. Yeah,
he's a smart
He
guy.
could do it, like you said. He could do anything. He could play it. He could do any style. Same thing with musicians that are like that. Some people are pigeonholed into one style, and some guys can play across the board.
Yeah, we are here because you two are interesting, bantering back and forth in a good way. You would have enjoyed us at the buffet last night, where we bantered back and forth. You think the show you're watching now is entertaining. You should see us when it's unfiltered, uncensored, and we are completely out of control. It's amazing they invite us anywhere. Okay, let's see here. Question about Sky Hill interview. I'll hit him up soon. He said he would do it, but you know, again, you wait for the right time. You wait for people to have. Let's see. Okay, blah blah blah. I'm just skipping through. Monaco could have joined Queensryche. I will tell you that while we were in Key West, the guys from Queensryche did not make eye contact with Johnny and I. They looked right over us. But I told Johnny, hey, I'm going to show them the video of you singing Queen of the Reich. Maybe these guys would be interested. They didn't give me that moment. But if you haven't seen Johnny Monaco sing Queen of the Reich, go to Johnny's YouTube channel and you can subscribe over there as well. The video's on there. And Johnny, how old were you when you sang? I mean, you don't have to say how old. What year was it?
Oh,
80s.
Could have been like, yeah, like late 80s, maybe 90.
Yeah. If you see the picture in the video, though, you'll know it's not Johnny in the picture with Tawny Kitaen. But yeah, anyway, Johnny, you watch him sing Queen of the Reich, you'll enjoy it. While we're plugging a few things, let's point out, one, subscribe to this channel so that you'll be with us more often. Next week, Mark Weiss will return. We will reveal, I promise, we will reveal the identity. We will have two special guests that you never thought you would see on this show. And then also make sure you go to Patreon. I will tell you that a few Patreons had their questions asked in my interview today with Brian Wheat. That interview airs Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tune in. And if you're a Patreon, I'll let you ask questions. The guests, you ask. You know, you don't need me yapping with these people. So consider signing up for Patreon. It helps support the channel. And you know, you get involved and you get stuff. And oh my God, the perks are endless. So make sure you do that. Go to officialstephenpearcey.com. You can find out where you can see Johnny and I in person. We are just as entertaining in person. If you guys want to come hang out with us, buy us lunch, take us shopping, whatever it is that you're interested in. If you have a line on, you know, pressed juice or T-shirts, you know, Johnny in the market. And let's see. And yes, some people want they want Bloss back in Slaughter. I think so too. Scarlett wants to know, are we still discussing the Tawny photo? Well, we will be discussing it again next week right here. Mark Weiss returns with special guests. And finally, the positive identification. Jimmy, some name I can't say, he says, JM, that's Johnny Monaco, I think, played a venue that shall not be named that I booked with Enough's Enough. Oh, okay, so he's a booker. And I was floored. Great voice, great singer, cool cat as well. So, well.
Oh.
Johnny, thanks you.
Well, that was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very
We're
nice
not
thing
used
to
to
say.
that around here, but okay. Billy Bongwaters is he bought the Doug Marks tapes. Remember Doug Marks?
I do.
Metal Method.
Mm-hmm. I think he still teaches guitar.
I'm sure he does. He had a band called Hawk. Randall Evan Battencourt, not Bettencourt, Battencourt. He says, he's very PC in his question, how did Brian Wheat score a piece of ass like Sandy Soraya? That's the only question that needs
Jeez.
to be asked. I will tell you, Brian Wheat and I do discuss Sandy Soraya, his ex-wife who made albums. Where is she? Will she make another record? Are they speaking? All those questions and more will be answered. Here's Tim. I feel like Tim might be a jackass. I'm not positive. He says, why doesn't Steven have a tour bus? First of all, what happened to our negotiating?
Why don't we have a tour bus?
For what a lot of people don't realize is we play weekends. We play fly dates. There is no tour bus. There's not many gigs on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so the cost of sitting on a tour bus is rough. Some days I wish
nobody buys a tour bus,
and no one buys a tour bus. Some days I wish
some people do.
Yeah, Vinnie Paul did, but he liked to barbecue and live on the bus. Some people are bus people. I like having my week. I like having my week at home. And Jason's answering it, but Tim, please get that offer together. They enjoy your singing of Queen of the Reich. Dick Chasen says that I don't know what he said. He said something. Sandy Soraya is a good singer. Dick Chasen also wants to know why Tim doesn't have a tour bus. That's a good question. Eric Satterfield just joining us. Good evening, Jason and Johnny. Eric, you missed a lot of good topics, including our friend Eric Ferrentinos allegedly peeing in his bed on the road. You will have to stay tuned to this channel to see if that's correct. Might have to have Eric come back on and if, in case his side of the story isn't told well enough. But it's coming up. Please, you want to stay tuned. Johnny Crash, Hey Kid. I like that song. I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about, but I remember it and I liked it. All right, let's see. I'm almost ready for a nap or something.
I have to start my chicken.
Here, Tim D. Is this the same guy? Does Steven still make good money from Sing downloads? Well, first of all, I'm not his accountant, so and I don't know what a Sing download is. All right. Oh, hold on. Now I get it. Tim said he used to tour as a lighting technician. This is a different Tim. It just happens that everyone named Tim has dumb things to say today. Let's see. Here's a nice one. Mike in Tampa is appreciating Johnny's talents more. So that's nice, Johnny. People, I like to think that we're sharing the Johnny Monaco was the world's best kept secret for a long time. I had always heard how great Johnny was as a singer, as a songwriter, and I just, like most of these bands, I write off when it's not the original guy. Although Johnny did great with Enough's Enough, and everyone who toured with them were fans who saw it. Everyone I heard said they really enjoyed it. I didn't start to discover the music until later. When Johnny came on as a guest, I thought that he's funny, and I think that the banter between us is good. I enjoy having someone that we can go back and forth. Johnny does a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm just here to sort of direct traffic. Johnny will tell you the proper way to open a crab. Anyway, but so I think it's fun. But at no point was the idea of the show, well, me and Johnny are gonna come on every week and we're gonna tell zingers and call it a day. It's an organic thing, and I'm glad that people enjoy this show. I wish that, Johnny, I wish people would give us some money. I don't mean the viewers. They don't owe me anything. But like a sponsor, we've had some sponsors in the past. Bitsy, we had some sponsors in the past. People have been told me a lot. We think that you should do the show Monday through Thursday or something and do a lot, every morning like a radio show. Well, I would do that, but I think people would have to give us money. And who knows, maybe we would run out of things to talk about. I find it hard to believe, considering we see each other every weekend for hours and hours, and somehow there's always something that we find funny. Here's Bitsy, which means if anyone would like to contribute to Bitsy's Kibble Fund, Bitsy's about 100 years old in people years, maybe more. And yeah, all right, let's see. And it's almost time to get the hell out of here. Someone's all right. Well, Rooster 69. That means cock, Johnny. Rooster, cock. 69. He'd like to know, what is Johnny's skin regimen? His skin looks so smooth.
Well, I don't know if that I have a regimen. I just, wash my face with face soap.
Like what kind of face?
I used to. Well, I use what people tell you not to use, and I'm like, a Johnson and Johnson product or some other form of satanic marketing, salicylic acid, and I just try to keep it clean. Before I go to bed, I wash my face and use different soaps. Sometimes I use night soap, sometimes a relaxing soap. In the mornings, sometimes more refreshing soap. And I just shaved, so it might look a little.
Do you put on like a toner, or do you put on moisture? Do you moisturize?
You're supposed to moisturize. That's very important. And I was doing that for a while. I kind of got lazy with that, but I definitely think you're supposed to do that before you go to bed.
I try to moisturize when I got the skin cancer. The scar needs to be moisturized constantly. Anyway, let's see here. Hold on. Skateboarder W. Johnny, tell us where you get those glasses, please.
Well, I am sponsored by. These are not my sponsored glasses.
No.
Spectacle Eyewear has a sponsor, and I like all their glasses. They have all kinds of really cool modern. These are Zenni, because this was before I knew who Spectacle was. And these are just my day-to-day ones. They're okay. They're not great, but they were cheap. These frames are only $9.
Wow, more than your power.
My Spectacle Eyewear ones are very they're very cool and hip. You have some too. I don't know if you have yours, but
he made me a great pair of glasses, Mr. Spectacle. He made me a great pair of glasses, but my eyes have to get used to them when I change them. And I'm not ready for it yet. You know what I mean? So I'm wearing my old glasses, but he made me a great pair. He sent me. I have the first pair that was a little Paul Lindish. Although I've worn them out. If you see me in Key West, if you saw me strutting my stuff on the beach when I went to see Robert the Doll, I did wear those Kato Kalin glasses, or whatever he calls them.
They're very popular. A lot of the young people are wearing those now.
He apologized to me for the tint, but it was just that tint I didn't like. There's some other cooler colors. Jet is shelling out $4.99 to ask a silly question. So for $4.99, I'll answer. Any chance on Bitsy and Phyllis's cat meeting for a play date while you do an interview with Phil? I think this is a joke about the cat on Phil's head. I could be wrong. But Phil was so nice around Christmas time that I'm letting bygones be bygones, and I am not going to make fun of him today. All right, let's see.
What's a play date?
Susan F says, I think Johnny Monaco, spelled Monico, is such a cool name.
Okay. Well, that's my dad's father's name. He was also John Monaco from Sicily. Yeah. And this is where it stops with the family. They can bag and plead.
You're going to end the line. I am as well.
I'm going to end the line, and I'm going to be like,
There is some stupid shit going on in the chat. I just can't exactly figure out who it is.
I don't know.
I don't really care either.
Yeah, so Spectacle Eyewear. You might want to go check those people out.
Yes, I need to start including their links because they've been really good to me and to Johnny. And,
yeah. And we're going to be in Boston, at some point. and
Oh, is
we're
that
going to
where
go
he
to
is?
that store.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be good. When is Jason and Johnny starting a band together? Well, you never know. That could happen soon. Boston, yeah, we're going to be in the New Hampshire, I think, area. There's a store called Purchase Street Records that I've gone to before. Johnny, I got to take you to this place. You'll love it. The owner has a band. They're trying to get on the bill, but we should do a live show there, and we should do a live show from Spectacle Eyewear because, yeah, great.
It's our buddy Paul over there.
Yeah, Paul Spectacle. Stephen Michaels wants to recap the show for anyone who's joined us late. The show recap. Eric pees his bed. Johnny, he allegedly pees his bed. We don't know that. You have to watch the episode and see the evidence. You can't just say that. So Eric allegedly pees his bed. Johnny warns us about toenail fungus, teaches us about crab kits and grilled chicken. Mark Weiss redeems himself next week. I mean, I think that's some of it. Okay.
Said all that. Oh, he's paying attention. That's good.
Dick is still here. Thank gosh for Dick. I like you. I like you, a man of the people, Jason. Let's continue this format for sure. Okay, well, perfect. I'm trying to, excuse me. I'm trying to book Stephen Piercy tour dates with morons in the chat, but I will try. Okay. Oh, and a lot of hellos for Bitsy. Bitsy is very chatty today. All right, Bitsy, you got enough airtime. Here is Dave Balls. Dave is a buddy of mine. Dave has the other Funko Pop. There was two. We called it the Johnny Monaco haircut Funko Pop because it was with the shorter hair. I need to have that haircut again, Johnny. I look terrible.
Oh yeah, look at how long your hair is. It's very witchy.
Very
you could
witchy.
be in one of those doom metal bands. The kids like that. They'll think, yeah. So
can you bring your barber tools? Can you bring your barber tools to Houston? I need a haircut.
I mean, we probably could because it's just scissors and a comb, but the hair is going to get everywhere.
Right. Well, the DoubleTree won't mind. Dave Balls says, what night are you going to Tesla? We'll be there on the 17th. I don't know yet. I'm going to try to. Johnny will probably only go once if I can even talk him into that. I'm going to try to see it as often as I can. I like those guys, and I think it'll be fun. Lars is watching from Sweden. Good to see you, Lars. I don't understand. I feel like someone's been jackass. Okay, and then Jet already asked that question. Okay. Johnny kills me. When are you guys at N3? I'm not sure what N3 is, but we will not be at M3 this year.
Yeah, we're not going this year for some reason because it won't be cold and rainy enough.
Yeah, it's Johnny Monaco is the best name, and he's a cold dude. Well, he's cold because, as he says, he doesn't turn the heat on in his house.
I'm fine in here. I haven't needed any heat. I'm up. Heat rises. On the 11th floor, the people above me are probably even hotter. Sometimes when I leave, I have to leave my window open so when I come back to the apartment, it's not hot. It cools down, and that's like in February, January.
Good question about the good question about the who won the Golden Robot. I talked to Mark Alexander Erber, who is the president. We were trying to find time to do it. It's my fault. It's completely
that was so long ago.
Well, we have to announce the winner. I know who it is, just like that photo. But
oh, you do?
I think so.
It's
the one you picked. It's the one you picked. Yeah, it's the one you picked.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, and I don't
good.
mean to be a jerk, but Mark Alexander Erber said that he was overwhelmed by how amazing the submissions were. Myself and most of the judges were not as overwhelmed. That doesn't mean if you're watching and you send in, you might be one of the great ones. There was a couple good songs. I didn't hear anything that I went, holy shit, that's great. And neither did any of the other judges, who were all people in the music business. I did hear people who deserve a chance. The one person that I think is going to win has some potential and some marketing. I look at marketing as well. And anyway, I'll get with Mark, and then I will get back with you as well. Oh, hold on. The Maryland Institute of Music Rock School. That's a mouthful, Johnny. They say when you guys are at M3, make the short jaunt to my vinyl shop in Hagerstown, Chris Hagerstown. It's it's inside the Maryland Institute of Music, the school that Kix built and called the Head. Well, that's very cool. I appreciate that. I wish we were going to be at M3 this year. We will not. I'm happy to mention though that you have a record store that people can see. That is a vinyl shop, and that is a cool place that Kix built. And that, you know, Johnny, the guys in Kix, they're from Maryland, and they were music instructors.
Oh,
I think Steve Whiteman, the singer, still teaches vocals there. So anyway, Maryland Institute of Music Rock School. There's a lot of people watching who are going to go to M3. They didn't invite us this year. They invite you every other year. So if you're in the area, go check out his vinyl store. Jason, you should post yourself playing bass sometime. Well, I made a record. It's called Death of a Nation, and you could listen to that if you'd like to hear me play bass or watch the countless hours. I haven't played bass in quite some time. The Stephen Piercy gig takes a lot of time for me. I do everything. I book the flights. I deal with hotels. I deal with the agent. It takes time. And so all my other projects have been on hold. I'd like to play bass again. Every now and then I look at it. It's all right. It's right there. Every now and then I look at it and I say, I'm going to pick that thing up. Now I'm going to slap it around. No, I don't believe in slapping, but basses at least. And so I don't know, maybe one day. I'd like to. It'd be fun. I feel like music in general, even listening to music, I have to be in a mood. I don't even listen to music very much anymore. So let's see. Has Bitsy met Sir Charles and Bear? No, Bitsy is very mellow. Sir Charles and Bear are very intense. Johnny's met them.
Yeah, that dog will knock you over.
The dog will knock you over. Big dog. He's a nice dog.
He's strong.
Yeah,
he's strong.
All right, let's see. We need Jakey Lee on here. Well, never know. I don't even know what this means. Not if you knock some groupie up, Johnny. Who knows?
When I was talking about how I'm ending the family line.
Oh, yeah. It says you're going to knock some poor girl up at 67. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you're 67 or the girl. Oh, but Scarlett, who looks like she's a very attractive young woman. I don't know if you can say that person. Scarlett Emerald says, "You don't want kids, Johnny?" Question mark.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
You want to see more photos of her?
It's just a lot of, once you have children, that's a whole thing. It's like a full-time job. I could barely do what I do here. Gotta go play with those idiots at the casinos, and we go out of town. Then I'm working on some Yngwie tune, Paul Gilbert. Well, he has a kid though, and he's better than me, so I'm sure it can be done. I would like to start with like a couch.
Right, that's true. What if you just date people who are young enough to be our children?
Well,
there's that.
Case now, but I mean, I know sometimes I get peer pressured into, when are we going to have a baby? And I'm like, it's not your baby, Mom. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, but they want you to, they really want you to have a baby, because whenever people have a baby, everything is right. I watch these shows on TLC, and you could be the biggest fuck up, but if you have a baby, bring the baby over. Your husband's a loser. Bring the baby over. Look how cute he is. He's so cute.
You have a niece.
Loser.
Johnny has a sister Monaco, and Johnny has a niece as well. She's grown up now. They came out to the show when we were in Illinois. Everyone was very nice. And but I think your sister more popular because she has a kid in the family?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it changes. Like first when you have the baby, it's like they've never seen what this is before. This is like no one's ever had a baby ever. This is amazing. This is an amazing event. And then it goes by and there's events, and then the child grows and goes through life and accumulates things in their life, and they're celebrated as they should be. And then they get into adulthood, and then they graduate, and they're very proud of them, as they should be. I think I lack things like pride and I just 10 feet. I know it's very selfish to say, but I know though if I did have a baby, I would raise him just like the cats in the cradle song, and I would show him how to do the nunchucks. I would show him, things that men should know, like how to use a Popeil pocket fisherman, to know that the earthworms don't have feelings,
Mhm.
to know that fish will suffocate if they're if the hook's in them too long. Just stuff
Mhm.
like that you teach children. How to use snakes, how to use a lighter, guitar playing. But I really would let them grow up to be their own person. There's nothing that bothers me more than when I see the child was kind of groomed by the parent. Like they kind of influenced them what to do with like music or how they whatever it is. I think that's kind of weird. I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just go to a cult. Let the kid do what he wants. You can guide them, try to explain to them it's probably not a good idea, to do this because this is what the consequences will be. But you shouldn't make them enjoy the same things you like just because you did. That's the problem with a lot of things nowadays. Everybody thinks everybody else needs to like what they like. Maybe I don't like what you like. Worry about that.
I think it's well said, Johnny. I like that you're not ruling things out. Look what the cat dragged in says Jason and Johnny video idea work at McDonald's for the day. This is an idea that's not new. Johnny and I go to places and we see how inefficiently they are run. And I often say, Johnny, we should take a shift. I thought that while we're touring, when we get to some small town, there was a Hallmark where Johnny was having a nice relationship with the woman at the Hallmark, and all these places we go, I think, wouldn't it be great if we just worked a shift while we were here? Like they did that dirty job show. Our jobs don't have to be that dirty, but I think Johnny and I can pretty much do any job for 2 hours that anybody else can do. After that, we would probably get bored and quit. But okay,
That's right.
but I think it would be fun, and I would really like to see Jason playing live. I would like to do that, and I think we talk about it. Scotty Griffin and I, at least, we talk about it. But he's been, since his wedding, he's been around the world on a Norwegian tour with his beautiful bride, and they celebrated Christmas in Iceland or Norway. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, let me try to get to a few more of your questions, and we'll get the hell out of here. God bless you, Jason. Well, thank you very much. Bitsy needs treat. Yeah, that's probably true. Where did Dick go? I haven't seen Dick in a while, but Rooster is here. Are all of Steven's dates fly-ins, or does he ever stay on the road for several weeks or so? They're all, as of now, they are all fly-ins. All right, Bitsy. She tries to wrap the show up. I don't know what. Here's a question. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you'd ask Johnny this. Hey, Johnny, when did Steve Riley join LA Guns?
Was it after Wasp? You know that stuff more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny was in LA Guns, but Johnny's not really the kind of person who's. Johnny was actually learning how to play music and doing more important things than working on a career. But yes, Steve Riley did not play. Is someone going on over there, Johnny? You got a mouse or something?
I don't know. I thought someone tried to break in here. That's another thing about a house. There's a lot of entry levels. This one, they can only get in one door. But I thought I heard something. This place could be haunted. I mean, you don't have to have an old place to have a haunt. I looked up the person that lived here before me, but I kept getting her mail. So I just kind of Googled the name just to get an idea. And it was a picture of her in this place, standing right where I'm standing in some kind of weird swimsuit porno outfit. And I don't know if it was trans but something was going on. And I just had to shampoo the carpet.
We think that
I don't know.
we think that she filmed a little person anal interracial medieval bukkake gangbang in your living room.
Listen, I meet so many weirdos in this place, in this town alone, and in my building. It's like, I don't know any of my neighbors. I don't know. I never hear them, which is good. Because if I hear them, there's going to be a problem. But I'm just after seeing that, no shoes on, walking around in that outfit. You don't know what's falling off. I had this carpet cleaned 3 times. They got mad at me the second time because they're like, they should have been changed. The carpet should have been changed. This needed a pet treatment. They're like, oh, there's no pets in there. Then
Dominic is late to
I'm
the
fixing
party.
your.
He always finds us entertaining. Thank you, Dominic. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Let's see. Respect, good sir, Jason. Hashtag respect. Thank you, Tony B. Much appreciated. He's joining late. The good thing about joining late is you can go back at any time and relive this. Here's one I don't think is true, but skateboarder W says, Johnny, I bet you enjoy some Leonard Cohen. You seem chill like that. Or maybe Nick Cave. Right.
I only know that one song. I like it. I mean, I heard someone else cover it really well too.
You're talking about Hallelujah and Jeff Buckley
Yes.
cover, right? Yeah.
No. Oh. But though that he did make it famous, yes. I'm talking about Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. It's funny.
He does a really good version of it.
There's a couple good versions. There's an Aaron Neville version that's really good too. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get through. I don't want to leave anyone hanging. You guys should do acoustic shows in conjunction with touring Stephen Pearcy. Side gigs with a few jokes. I'd pay to see that Jason bass Johnny sing. Bring it out to America, boys. I think there's something to what you're saying. I think that me and Johnny playing. I mean, I've had a lot of people ask us to do appearances when we're on the road. Sometimes in the afternoon we can go to a record store and do that. I would be up to do the show, and if someone wanted Johnny to play acoustic or something like that, I'm sure. Yeah, of course, it could be worked out, and we can give away tickets to the show and all those things with Stephen. I will say that there's logistics to it, but if people want that, you can make it happen. Believe me, people ask us to go to everything. This Rockin' Pod, the Rockin' Tide Pod Festival, I don't know much about it. It's supposed to be for YouTubers and bloggers. I have more numbers, subscriptions and likes because I have the best audience, and I have Johnny Monaco here. But I would love to go to that if they, make an offer. I'm not going to hitchhike my way out there and stay.
Yeah, it's not Key West.
Yeah, and stay. Yeah, you know what happens when we hitchhike, and stay in a place that doesn't have hot cookies. But anything could happen. A question: if we had the Juan Crucier chili lately, I enjoy when people remember small moments in the show. We were stuck in Detroit. Stephen Pearcy had a cup of chili, and Johnny asked him. Dominic says, Jason, could you please tell us how you really feel about Eric Martin? I was thinking about Eric Martin earlier today. I'm a little embarrassed for Eric Martin and Trickster. They have to open for 80 bands at these festivals. Like they like going on before like Chips Enough, or I don't know. I thought, was I too hard on Eric Martin? But he was he was a jerk. He was a jerk. So
I don't know if that's his humor. Maybe he just thinks he's being funny. Maybe. I mean, there's a way to do it. There's a way to be mean, but I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I haven't really thought about it.
Eric is asking what we think of Sister's Doll from Australia. I'm not familiar. I am familiar with Robert the Doll from Key West, but
yeah, no, I don't know what that is.
Johnny doesn't know either. But if we got him a little mention, Bitsy. Feed this fucking cat in a minute. And oh Jesus, there's so many comments today.
Yeah, boy.
A lot of people from Ohio. We're going to be in Ohio, Versailles, Ohio. It's beautiful. It's a racetrack. We're going to be playing the BMI Body Mass Index racetrack, and we will be there. Okay. South Gang interview. Someone's asking for a South Gang interview. When we were in Tempe, Arizona, someone came to the door and said, Butch is here. And I figured they meant Butch Walker, the guy from the South Gang and the Marvelous Three. It's a songwriter. But who was it, Johnny?
It was Eddie Munster.
Mm-hmm. Eddie Munster, Butch Patrick.
Yeah, Butch Patrick. He was nice, but I'm telling you, if you're going to walk in with, that kind of clout, I want to see the whole suit, the whole thing.
If you're going to say, hey, Eddie Munster is here, essentially that's what they're saying. Yes, we would like to see Eddie Munster.
More like
at least
Eddie Munster.
Hold the little Wolfie doll, But anyway,
or something.
When you're on the tour world, big famous stars come backstage. If you ever saw Madonna's movie Truth or Dare, these big stars like Kevin Costner are backstage. Well, in our case, Eddie Munster was there, and it was exciting. I liked them. I'm a fan of the Munsters.
Yeah, that's cool. I liked it.
Some people are a little stupid. Okay, hold on. Here's. Remind Johnny I have a line on Quisp cereal and Coast Bar soap. Hey, thank you. I forgot about this. This is DBD Mad City. We will have to do a Quisp tasting on the show. A lot of people don't remember.
A friend of mine did. I was talking about it once, and a friend of mine did buy me a box. You can find it on these like vintagecereal.com or whatever. It's not like actually from then. They make it now. Mm-hmm. But it didn't taste quite the exact same. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It did. It was memorable. I just try to do things from my past to try to get some of the feeling back.
Yes.
That's why I like to watch the old shows. I've been watching Leave It to Beaver nonstop, Gilligan's Island.
I saw the
Brady
Beaver.
Bunch.
I saw the Beaver this week. Michelle and I. Yeah, Michelle and I saw the Beaver. I'm talking about Jerry Mathers, of course. We were at this thing called the Hollywood Show, where everyone is there to do exactly what Johnny said: get in touch with their youth and try to stay alive as long as possible, and look at people, who are older and think they're going to die soon. But I got to meet. I didn't talk to the Beaver. I saw the Beaver. I didn't touch the Beaver. I wasn't hard on the Beaver, but I did see the Beaver. His brother Wally has passed away tragically. I did have a nice talk with Dwayne from What's Happening. He's known for the line, "Hey, hey, hey." He told me that after the Doobie Brothers episode, the one where they say, "Which Doobie you be?" The Doobie Brothers invited the three main stars on tour: Roger, Rerun, and Dwayne. No Roger, no Rerun, no Rent. My favorite episode. But anyway, and they spent a week on the road, and he's a young black kid, and he said it was pretty crazy, being on the road with these white boy band and seeing the Doobie Brothers every night. But he was a nice guy. I met a lot of other people. Other people saying they loved Quisp as well.
Yeah, it's very good. Well, I'm on a diet now, but I mean, it's really good.
Okay, Chris has had enough. He's going to bed. Thank you for watching, Chris. 10 p.m. in Ohio. I hope that we'll see you when we're in Versailles, not France, but Ohio. And, there's tons of shows. Johnny knows them. Stephen Piercy Band has a lot of shows this year. I think there'll be about 50 in total. And so
something
and see us. And if you're watching this and you are enjoying this, we can do this in your house. We'll come over and we'll do the show. Will Stephen Piercy be touring in Seattle anytime? A full tour of Seattle? I haven't seen anything recently. We were just there though, and it was good. And you will see it on the Haywood Nelson is the name of Dwayne. You will see it on the show, Seattle. I loved it. Seattle was beautiful. It was Johnny got sick on that trip though. And you will see it. You will see Johnny receive a live COVID test, and
all right, I was negative.
You were negative, as usual. Georgia, I haven't seen Georgia in a while. I'm glad Georgia is back. She says she's looking forward to finding out who the guy in the photo is with Tawny. And yes, next week, tune in, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means 8 p.m. Eastern. Everyone else, do your own math. We will be here live. Mark Weiss returns with 2 mystery guests. And literally the second that show ends, we'll be back on the road. Johnny and I will be making our way to lovely Denver, Colorado. And after lovely Denver, Colorado, we will be at the Mohican Sun in Connecticut. It's great, Johnny. We're going to have a good time. We get there early. They have all the food you can eat. Fuck that broccoli and chicken, Johnny. They have a smorgasbord, and then they let you eat all of it, and you can bring it to your room. I was bringing up salads and burritos and fruits and all that stuff. And hold on, question just in time from DBD Mad City. What is the current bass player, bass spelled B-A-S-E, player situation in Steven's band?
No
Johnny,
apostrophe
who's
S.
playing bass? Tell him who's playing bass, if you remember.
Remember when we were getting the name tags? Now, do you know all the names of the guys in your band? Yeah.
Dana Strum.
Okay, maybe in charge of the name tag.
Dana Strum likes to delegate responsibilities. I usually travel with Steven. I was with Steven. We left, and we're handling things at the hotel, checking in and getting everything ready for the band. Johnny was behind, and Dana decided that Johnny seemed responsible enough to order lunch for the band. To give Dana was handling the ordering, but he needed to know everyone's order, and he asked Johnny, "So you do know the names of the members of your band?" And Johnny did his best.
I had to think about it. Matt Thorne.
Matt Thorne.
He's very nice.
Very nice, great bass player. He was in the band called Rough Cut. It's an interview
That's
with him
right.
on the show. After Rough Cut, he was in the band called Jailhouse. With do you know who the singer for Jailhouse was?
No, I don't.
You spent some time with him.
If you said it,
you guys had a long talk.
Singer. Oh, Salt and Cheney.
No, that's the juggler. That's the juggler. No,
the jester.
The singer for Jailhouse is Simon Daniels. I think he had a different name back then. Who is now in Autograph. And you had a nice talk with him.
I didn't know that. That's right. He was very nice. He wants to come on your show.
Yeah, and
I know. You should get him on. I believe that he spoke well, and he means what he says. I remember the song by Rough Cut called Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
The widow of the web. The widow must be fed. And I'd always confuse it's a great song, but Rough Cut and Icon, when they first came out, I would confuse the two because they both had the killer guitar tones, real chunky. They would use like a chorus set with a low speed and a high depth. So it was like kind of Randy Rhoads, like, wah, 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 wah. So I think they had another song called Taker. But I liked a lot of that Rough Cut stuff. I thought it was really good. Real heavy, kind of like, it had good guitar tones. Amir Drakar, right?
Darok. Yeah. Pronounced Amir Darok. Which sounds like I'm here, Darok.
Yeah, that's right. I think I pronounced it the way they do the cologne.
The way it's spelled, it does look like Dekra it wasn't the most.
Well, but they're from Arizona, I believe, as well as Jeff Martin from Surgical Steel, who then later obviously sang with Racer X and something else too.
I think the main guys in Rough Cut are from San Diego, but who knows?
Okay.
Amir and Matt are from San Diego, and that's where they met Stephen Piercy, and and so I don't know, maybe the other guys. But they've all been on the show. You can watch him. Matt's great. You can see him on these upcoming shows. We'll be seeing him at the airport very soon. So, Paul Shortino was on the show as well. And we're off to
the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor himself, the doctor as well. We're off to Houston, Johnny. Have you decided what you're going to have on your Whataburger?
That whole thing. Yeah, you got to try these. They're great. I'm very excited. It's like 2 a.m. We were in line for like an hour?
Felt like it.
And we finally get up there, and she's like, and it wasn't even that good.
I think
don't
you
know.
got the one burger,
Maybe it's
and it still wasn't that good. But it's a Texas rite of passage.
I don't know if I believe that. I didn't think it was that good. I think In-N-Out is way better. But I mean, again, dieting.
Yeah, we are going
I don't know if I'll be eating
that diet's going to be on
eating
hold
water.
the weekend, Super Bowl weekend. There is going to be so much food and fun. I'm going to wrap up in a minute. We've been here for over 2 hours, close to 300.
Come on, I got my chicken.
Close to 300 people have stayed with us this whole time. I'll tell you this controversy in the Leather Wolf camp. Maybe I'll talk about that next week. But 3 members of Leather Wolf all having differences. One has asked me to remove one of my interviews.
Oh no!
A lot, which I will not do.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Leather Wolf's upset with you?
Mm-hmm. Not all of them. The drummer for
Which
Leather
one?
Wolf, Dean Roberts. He owns the name. He copyrighted the name. He came on and he gave his side of the story, promoted his record. And then the singer Michael Olivieri, he came on. He had a different side of it. They have a beef between each other. And then their guitar player, Carrie, I believe his name is Carrie Howe, he came on and he was angry with what Dean said. Dean said things that may be slanderous about him. He said that I probably shouldn't repeat it, but he said things that essentially that were illegal. And Carrie said, I have to pull it down. But listen, this show does not represent my views. I'm just giving a guy a platform. And I said, if he would like to come on the show, he can come on the show and say his side, or he can go and sue the guy for slander. It's a waste of time and money. These guys aren't worth millions, and I'm suing over the name. But anyway, so there's a little controversy in the world of Leather Wolf. Oh, Rika B says, good evening from Arizona. Rico, sorry, Rico. I didn't mean to call you Rika. We're going to be in Houston. Johnny and I would love to go to Whataburger with you in the middle of the night.
He's from Arizona.
Isn't that where we're going? Oh, no, sorry. We're going to Texas. I forget.
You're confusing me. Rico, I got to prepare myself psychologically for these gigs.
Rico, I'm sorry that we cannot join you at Whataburger because I don't think you even have one.
They have with the other one, like we like, Jack in the Box.
Yes. But I like to get out and have the food of the locals. I like to see eat the food of the people. That's
not Whataburger. The people. He's from Boston. They're rich.
We have Jack in the Box here already. Anyway, if anyone has anything important to say or to tip, now's your chance.
Leather Wolf's mad at you.
Yes. Well, there's
you got to take it down.
They're more mad at each other. I'm just a conduit between them.
You better take that down.
Now, Zachariah says Whataburger is a generic version of Lotta-Burger here in New Mexico. I had no idea.
That sounds about right.
Listen,
Houston is a watered down version of Mexico.
I don't think you could say that.
Mm.
Let's see here. Wait a second. Rafa Castorina. I apologize if I said that. What's up, Jason? Johnny Greens from San Antonio, Texas. Whataburger #1. Of course, people in Texas love Whataburger. Johnny, I think we had the wrong thing. We got my friend Jeff. He works for the Houston Astros. They're a bunch of cheaters, as you know, by the way. Houston is known for cheating.
You could say that.
I don't think he had anything to do with it. But he has a World Series ring, though. But anyway, he took us out. He's a nice guy, a friend of mine for a long time. We'll see him again. But he said that he didn't get his order. He thinks that Johnny got his Whataburger.
Yeah, but even if I got something different, it's still the taste of the overall burger, the bun, the combination.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was that good. You know, another one I don't think is good? Five Guys that everyone's talking about is so great. It's not that great.
The Kicks guys.
In-N-Out is better than all those. But I mean, that's not even like unreal. Like Shake Shack or Shake and Steak and you know the other one, they're close. In-N-Out. but it's still fast foodie type. You know, if
A
you
lot
want to
of
get a real
people
hamburger, you
don't
got
like. They don't like Five Guys, Johnny. Most people are agreeing with you. No,
that's
but
you
no,
can smell it when you first walk in there. It doesn't even smell good.
love
That's how you can tell if it's good.
Johnny. How do you say this guy's name? He likes him. How do you say that name?
Who?
The one that's on the
Oh
screen.
wow.
You may not got it yet.
I don't know.
Lavo
It looks like no Lavosian. I take it. It's for my my back issues.
Oh, it's like a sciatica pill. Anyway, he likes Five Guys. So I mean, look.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Some people like it. Not you know. I'm not saying it's for everyone. For me, my personal opinion, that's what I think. Everyone's got something they like. That's why you can't. And a lot of people aren't tasting on all cylinders because of COVID and everything. They might not have a good palate. You don't know. Some people can't tell the difference between certain wines or certain meats or something like that. You know, it's not for everyone. For this sensitive palate,
Johnny Zachariah says Chick-fil-A, like fa la la la, is overrated too. You know who agrees with him? Eddie Trunk.
I sure do. That's right.
Johnny, we should when we see Eddie, we should ask him what he thinks of whatever the Chick-fil-A, and he'll go right into it. Eddie Trunk will take the bait, and then we'll ask him what he thinks of Five Guys, and he'll tell you.
He's right. I mean, I don't know what the big deal is about that place either. Every time you go there, there's a huge line, and then when you get up to order, sometimes they send out the people, so you got to know what you want. And if you don't see the menu and you're not like a pro and you don't go there all the time, how do you know exactly what you want? But now they got it at In and Out, or when they come to you with their you know, they have a drop down so you could see the menu on them. That's great. These people, you know, some people think, you know, are you supposed to just walk up there? I guess you could do it on your phone because, you know, Christians are more advanced like that. They don't use signs anymore or tablets bringing down from a mountain. They just look on their cell phone and they go, I'll have the Chick-fil-A. I'll have the grilled chicken. Is it the skinless with pickle and tomato? Yeah. They used to order it like that. I like to look at the board and in a panic, just pick 3 things.
I'm trying to, yeah, I'm with you. I totally agree. Things should be simpler. Too many choices is not a good thing. Same thing with merchandise with bands. These bands who bring 95 merch items. No, people don't need so many choices. Same with food. It's all the same shit. Have a couple things, I'll choose. Don't give me too much. Then we'll be here all night. There's a funny video with Danny Garcia. He's the guy who drove us in. I don't know if he's here tonight. He drove us in Texas. We went to Whataburger with him, and that was where we waited hours in the parking lot. And I had the banana cream pie shake or something ridiculous. It was good though. All right. Here's Monaco.
2 people. We missed a couple. My neighbor. There's some good news.
Moved out?
He started vaping. So I noticed like I don't smell cigarettes anymore because it was driving me insane. But I noticed I just walked out for some reason. I seen him. He's growing his hair out now too. So it's starting to get long. It's a nightmare. And I seen him with one of those, you know, handheld. So he's vaping. So either he's trying to quit to get better, which I doubt. People don't change. Or someone complained. I think someone complained. I tried to complain, but nobody listens to me. And the other one here is
you're just squatting.
So I think he's vaping, which is I don't smell that. It's, you know, I really hope it stays that way because that was really one of I only had a few problems living here, and that was like 2 of them. Someone else asked me, Mark Sanchez, our friend Mark, remember Mark?
Yeah, Mark's great.
Rainbow.
We got to meet Mark at the Rainbow.
That's right. He left you a super chat, and he said you might have missed it. So,
hold on.
Go
back and find it.
I'm looking down.
Oh yeah. I meant to get to it, and he did. I got sidetracked. I was clicking on it, and you were right in the middle of something. He said, "Hi, on Johnny's song, India. Does he play piano? And is there a story behind that song? I like it a lot." Sorry, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I do play. I attempt to play piano with my limited ability. It's a little Casio. And the song is the lyrics are directly taken from a magic trick called, I think it's called India Thread or Magic Thread, something to do with thread. And Max, or no, not Max, famous magician, I saw perform that trick once.
Chris
And
Angel?
then I saw, no, I said magician. And then David Blaine also performs it. I think it's called Indian Thread. But I wrote the music to it. But when I was just so impressed with the trick, and I thought the lyrics were so cool that it could be turned into a song. And he took it from folklore and from Indian kind of like history of the worlds, how they were put together, and how the universe was created. It was like their way of explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that came from. The original magician that took it, he must have taken it from something else. He didn't come up with it. It was written somewhere and he took it. Eugene Berger is the magician's name.
You're making that up.
He
Like Johnny
he's
Monaco
great.
Storytellers. I just keep waiting for the joke.
I did a couple lessons with him. He taught a master class in magic. And I learned, that's like 4th generation Marlowe right there. Okay. For you card guys. And so I did learn some, he does really more mentalism, but he does some card tricks too. But this Indian thread trick, you can look it up. You'll find all those lyrics. I couldn't write something that elegant. Plus, I'm not from India.
Check out Johnny's song India. You can go to Johnny Monaco's website, johnnymonaco.com, and you can check out his music. I always advise people to check out Johnny's site. It's got all his tour dates, and then also you can hear his music. Johnny's got a whole vast library of music. And I hear that Johnny has a new album in the works called She Says She Found Her Soulmate. Johnny, how's it coming?
You know how it's coming, and I have been doing these weekend shows and then playing during the week in the casinos, and then getting COVID every other week and going on diets and playing guitar. So I really need to. That's why I wanted a house. I figured if I had a house, I could focus more and get it done. This place doesn't lend itself towards that, but I have to finish it still.
All right. Well, that's big news. I'm sure Blabbermouth will pick up on that. Johnny Monaco's album, Johnny Monaco, when pressed, says I have to finish it. So we'll make sure that we get that. All right. Well, Johnny's got food. Right. Look, we did 2 hours and 22 minutes. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to go.
But I, Johnny, I love this audience, even the stupid people. And these people are so generous and supportive and give us a fun way, an outlet. Otherwise, we would just be doing this in a restaurant. But I was going to say we should go eat, Johnny, but I know today is chicken night, and we're going to have a busy week.
You got to let me know in advance for stuff like that.
Well, you're probably marinating already, right?
Well, I already took it out. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the oven. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. It's not going to be great, but no. I mean, it's the cleanest way you can go, and it's cheap if you meal prep, and it's the cleanest source. Otherwise, if you're going out to stores, restaurants, it tastes good, but you don't know what's going on in there. It's a mess.
Yeah, that's right. Well, everyone, I thank you for watching. This Friday, Brian Wheat of Tesla will be here, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully Monday you'll get the next tour diary. Can't guarantee it. That P-Gate, there is so much work that goes into editing it that I'm not sure it'll be ready in time, but it'll be there. Sign up for Patreon. You get to watch everything before anyone else, and you get to watch it ad-free. So if you like this silly, fun YouTube humor, you'll get the tour diaries sent to you directly. You watch them in your privacy of your own home, or if you go to Patreon, you can pick the package and watch them in Johnny's home. We're working on that. You come over and spend the night with Johnny. Johnny Sleepovers, it's a new thing. Johnny's going to debut it in his Patreon. But Anyway, and we thank everyone.
I need to
And
start a Patreon.
you have one, Johnny. You literally just have to hit the button.
I know, but I'm not completely finished with it, and I need to add a few things. But yes, I have started putting one together, and I that's another thing on my short list.
Well, Blabbermouth can update the press release now. Wayne doesn't want us to go. We just opened the bottle of wine. Wayne, you just go back and watch it again. It's like we're in your living room. Is Brian Wheat from pushing a solo record or a book? He's got a book, yes, called Son of a Milkman, and he also we're promoting Vegas residency of Tesla and many other things. Okay, I can't think of another thing to say other than next Wednesday, Mark Weiss reveals the true identity, like a Scooby-Doo mystery. We pull the mask off, and that guitar player was Sal. I would have gone away with it if it wasn't for you, damn kids, or whatever he says. Johnny, anything you want to leave us with?
No, I don't think so. Good talk, and that's about it. I'll probably see you soon.
Probably. I hope so. And Susan reminds us to hit like on the way out. That's a good thing. Hit the like button. And thank you, everyone. And we'll see you again. Unless you're in Houston, you can come hang out with me, Johnny. Otherwise, we'll see you again next week. Good night.